but this season has been dominated by poor quarterback play and poor offensive football play. And Aaron Rodgers last night absolutely cooked. And it started very early. It felt like he was feeling something a little bit early. He was scrambling like a jungle cat. He was throwing footballs like they were darts. And he's got the entire Jets fan base now having Lombardi dreams. Michael Cole texted me after that game for a couple hours, because obviously he was on the Cole train. He was boozing pretty heavily. They got a show in Sacramento tonight, so he's on the West Coast time. So he said, I woke up this morning to 15 messages from Michael Cole. 15 of them saying, I'm so happy. Oh, my God. Life is so much better now. Garrett Wilson, they're supposed to knock him out of the game. He's catching phenomenal touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, at the age of 40, is extending plays, throwing the ball back across his body to a tight end who might be a guy. We have no idea in this Conklin fella. And then if you think about the Braylon Allen, Breece Hall combo in the backfield, and Allen Lazard able to continue to do what he does, he kind of has the Devontae Adams, I'm going to look at you, and you're going to do something different feel with Lazard. And then Mike Williams gets into the, it's like Jets fans are pumped. And I think Aaron Rodgers is as well if you listen to any of those post-game interviews, AJ.
Yeah, do you hear him? He talked, I think this was the first time he felt kind of like himself. He felt like this is what I do. And I think watching it, you could tell that too. Early on, he just seemed to kind of be in rhythm. The ball comes out of his hands so clean. And that I was encouraged to see him move around. He's scrambled around. This is the most that he has kind of moved around since that Achilles tear. So that was what I think, at least if you're a Jets fan, if you're an Aaron fan, that's what you like to see the most.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't hear a word you just said, to be honest. I was having a conversation with Zito, but yeah, what you were
Aaron was moving, is what I'm saying. Yeah, Aaron was moving around, using his leg.
Yeah,
his Achilles, I feel like it looks as if he has 100% confidence in that Achilles.
He got tackled from behind out of bounds, and he didn't care at all. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, he actually dapped up Keon White and was pulling Lazard back. I think Lazard went to go fight him, and he was like, yeah, all good, all good. He's almost like, I needed that. These are things that I think he's needed. And then him getting an edge, getting a first down, sliding to, and then that place going crazy. Like, I couldn't imagine the feeling. And then I thought about this as he was jogging out. No American flag.
Yep, no.
He says he's a little stitious. Not superstitious, he's a little stitious, which obviously Aaron Rodgers back at press conferences is back as well. But when he was jogging out here, he has told us on multiple occasions that there's nothing like jogging out of that tunnel whenever your name gets introduced. He said it just gives you an added boost and like he actually feels like this moment helps him play football. I couldn't even imagine what it felt like after what last year was, all the hype, all the knocks now, he's too old, and then his ass comes trotting out onto that field in the same exact manner he did on September 11th a year ago, and it's like, that had to feel good. Last night had to feel very, very good for Aaron Rodgers, and I'm happy for him. And now on the flip side, AJ, hey, comment. We saw Drake Maye. That's good. We got to see Drake Maye play.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and it was nice because, you could see he's a big son of a bitch. Tough as nails. Yeah. I mean, he got his ass deleted almost on his third play of the game. First one, almost a pick. A great start. All the greats always throw interceptions right off the bat like Peyton Manning. But, I mean, this hit right here, very worrisome. Got absolutely planted into the ground. But he popped right back up, basically said, like, that's how an NFL hit feels like. And then he bounced right back through a couple strikes. I think he was 4 for 8. I mean, perfectly executed screen. The guy just can't miss the short ones, which he doesn't. And he threw a couple darts as well. But no,
first down.
Boom. How about that? How about that first down? See you later. Move the sticks, brother. I mean, look, overall, it was terrible. But
should they play him, Con?
No,
do you
absolutely
think they should
not.
put Drake in? Why? No. Just because you don't think they can protect him?
Absolutely can't do that whatsoever. I think the biggest thing that the New England Patriots need to do, and I mean this very sincerely, they need to get a suitcase full of $10 to $20 million.
Okay.
And they need to go to Dante Scarnecchia's front door, who is the former offensive line coach, for the people that don't know, during the entire Patriots dynasty, one of the best assistant coaches in the history of the NFL when it comes to offensive line. They need to go to him and say, look, Dante, if you don't come back here, there's a chance that this New England Patriots offensive line gets 4 to 5 quarterbacks killed this season, because they've
been riddled by injury as well. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Already on the backup left tackle and left guard going into this game. By the time the game was over, they were on their 3rd string or 4th string left guard. Our backup right guard, who was in the game, he got hurt during it, and then obviously injuries are going to happen. That's part of the league. Hey, Hawker, you know that better than anyone.
Sure,
even though
I guess so.
If you never really didn't play because of injuries, but stuff happens, and Keon White got banged up. Jabril Peppers got banged up. I mean, overall, the feeling after, laying my head on the pillow was like, okay, so maybe the Bengals win in thinking that we got a shot at the Super Bowl isn't exactly
just from one game. They get Jets got 7 sacks defensively. Credit to the Jets defense too, giving up 3 points and getting so much pressure, and they brought pressure. Like Jeff Ulbrich, the D coordinator for the Jets, I think he's like, hey, if this is working early, why would we ever stop bringing extra guys?
Yeah, they played unbelievable. I mean, there's a tweet sent in. I don't know if we have it, but they're the first team in the Super Bowl era to have 400 yards, over 40 minutes of time possession, 7 sacks, no turnovers. Like, they did genuinely play a perfect game. And just watching, there it is, no touchdowns allowed as well. They did genuinely play a perfect game. Now, when you're, the strategy on play actions isn't to block anybody. It is pretty easy not to allow any touchdowns, and it felt like that's what the Patriots were doing. I mean, right off the bat, they ran a play action, and Jacoby Brissett almost got his head taken off. But, I mean, look, that's going to happen at times. But looking at it from, a zoomed-out perspective, because that's what we need to do here.
Hold on. It sounds like you're about to say, it's not as bad as I thought. Or are you saying I need to tamper down my expectations?
No, definitely tamper down the expectations. I mean,
from week to week, though, you can't get on that roller coaster. You can't say, hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Hey, we suck. We're never going to be good again.
As a fan, you can.
You certainly can.
That's typically what Mondays are all about.
Not as a player.
If you're a true fan, if you're a true irrational fan, I guess you do ride that roller coaster.
You can as a player.
Yeah, well, as a player, of course you can. And, this is almost my overreaction Monday, because even though it is Friday, my team did just play yesterday, so I do have to kind of respond to what we saw, and it wasn't great, and the offensive line is terrible. And we need Dante Scarnecchia, and we also need to never put Drake Maye back in the football game, because if he goes in there, there's a chance he gets killed.
Well, and that's what, I understand not wanting to put Maye in because of how bad the line is, but if they don't address it, I don't care how tough Jacoby Brissett is. If you're getting sacked 7 times a game and getting hit 15 to 20 times a game, he is going to get injured, and they're not going to have a choice. They're going to have to play Drake Maye.
No question. Pat, I think Pat's with us. They had to reboot some Zoom or situation. What do you think about that Jets defense getting seven sacks on the night, only giving up 3 points?
Yeah, I think obviously they came out, with Mosley not playing too. I think that was a big surprise for a lot of us whenever we learned that he was going to be inactive. I think that took us by surprise because everybody on the set yesterday was basically assuming that he was going to play if there was any question marks. Instead, they're able to rest him, get him more healthy to come back, and then still able to apply pressure. And now you wonder the Hassan Reddick situation that has taken place over there and has taken place over there. After week 1, there's a thought maybe he has a little bit more leverage because his defense isn't going to be able to. And then after week 2, maybe there's a little bit more. Now here we are week 3, and it's like they play a perfect game against a division opponent. It's like, is the Hassan Reddick need still there? Definitely. But is the leverage and everything after a performance like that from the defense as much as it once was maybe a couple weeks ago? I'm not 100% sure. Because they get him back in the fold and he plays anything like what he has in the past. We have no idea. But if he plays anything like he has in the past, it's like, hold the phone now. Is this Jets defense back to being top 5? Hey, Ty.
Yep.
Ty.
Yeah.
The last time Aaron Rodgers had a top 5 defense, what happened?
I believe they won the Super Bowl.
Okay. Is that what's happening this year? Hey, Connor, I know that you picked the Jets to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So obviously that was you kind of hedging your bet on if there's a miracle season by the Patriots, you'll ride with the Patriots. But if it's going to be a transition year, and I don't know why people are still being like, is it still Jacoby's job? It's like, I think there was a plan here, right? When they're all playing.
Clear plan, and I think we saw the whole entire reason there was a plan last night with the O-line.
Yeah, and also, you guys beat the Cincinnati Bengals early there, so I think everybody in Patriots fans hold the phone, wait a minute, maybe we're not in a transition era. Now, how could you not? I mean, I would certainly get excited as well, but there's been a plan for this entire thing. So the way Mayo is answering those questions about Coach Mayo is answering those questions about his quarterback this early, very fascinating, because are they going to sway from the plan before they figure out everything else, to your point, and get Drake Maye in there? But that's why you bet on the Jets, because you knew the AFC East was probably going to be run by them, and you wanted the AFC East to win the Super Bowl. Is that why you picked the Jets to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that and just the expectation of who Rodgers has been, especially when people are kind of counting everything up against him. And I'm not sure if you saw this morning, but after last night's comments where he said, we'll assess everything with the quarterback, us and the coaches will get together. He said this morning, hey, Jacoby's our starting quarterback. That's not going to change. We're going with him for this season. So I don't think after last night, maybe the initial reaction was a little bit of a wavering, but this morning it felt much more we are not going away from Jacoby. I just hope he doesn't get. I genuinely hope he still has a spleen by the end of the season, because it's bad right now.
If Jacoby, I would say if Jacoby and the O-line could see the red circles around the players that are blitzing, because the Amazon AI blitz tool was swinging a hot
It was
stick,
kinda nice,
a
wasn't
hot
it?
stick last night, they would have been much better off last night.
Hey, there was a couple where they were wrong early.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Somebody dropped into coverage a couple different times. They had like the red circle around them, then a yellow circle around them, and they dropped into coverage instead of when. I'm like, ooh, 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 oh, not good start, not good start. Boy, it found its rhythm though. It started,
That's AI. The more it learns, brother.
Connor Stallionsing really quickly. Like, you got me in the first quarter. You're not going to get me here in the third quarter. It was, but it's almost like how Aaron views the game.
Yes.
You know, Chuck talks about this yesterday. He was like, the Patriots' blown coverages that have happened over the past couple of games that maybe haven't been talked about because they haven't been exposed. Like, Aaron's going to find those. Like, Aaron is going to know those. And that's why, and we've talked about this, and I think it's a good time to bring it back up, especially after how last night went. Like, he is trying to figure out everything. He is the janitor in Goodwill Hunting at the chalkboard.
Yep.
And that is why that play clock goes very, 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 very far down every single time. He wants to be able to survey completely. There was 2 timeouts used in the third quarter, you know, because there was a potential delay of game by Rodgers and Saleh last night. And you see Aaron like look over to the sideline like, hey, that's on me. All right, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's his watching his brain kind of operate is great for us. I mean, it's terrible for defense coordinators and defenses as a whole, especially if they have had a couple blown coverages. He's going to figure it out. But, like, him and Saleh last night, what'd he push him for, AJ? You wanted
What's
to fight
going on
him?
there? Something about going up 2 scores, or whatever. I know they referenced it. They talked about it in his post-game presser. Look at this. Here we go. Dap.
Why'd he
Get out of here. Come on.
Why'd he side eye?
Yeah, it's the eyes. It's the eyes.
What's he trying to say? Is he messing with him? I know Aaron said after the game, Saleh's not a big hugger. He usually does the 2. So I think Aaron thought Saleh was going to go pat him on the chest. Aaron's like, no, I'm going to jump out and get ahead of this.
Yeah, but you got to, adapt or die?
That's right.
Okay. And kind of so when Saleh has a little bit of a moment of emotion there, Aaron, I think you got to meet him halfway with that hug. I think you can ass out hug if you want. You can do whatever type of hug you need to do there. But I think Aaron was caught off guard, and then I think Aaron immediately went to talk shit to Coach Saleh, which is a sign of a good relationship, not a bad one. Yes. Even though everybody on the internet is saying it's a bad one, but him looking at the coach saying 2-score lead, I think that's the first in a long time. I got a Hembo stat that came over, and it basically said, here we go. The Jets had 6 sacks last night with a 14-plus point lead, 2-score lead. They had 2 such sacks in 51 games across Saleh's first 3 seasons. Jeez. So that was one of the stats that Hembo sent over there. So 2-score lead, the ability for his defense to hunt, also kind of probably something that Saleh talks about a lot, you know? So fascinating times as they're trying to, as Aaron said, rebuild a culture here that's been tortured for years and years. I'm very happy that he has this you know, we talked about 2020 there for a little bit. Whenever Jordan Love gets drafted, he has the chip. That's a whole new one. Then he gets kicked out of the organization after going into the darkness, seemingly. And kicked out is certainly an interesting thing. They move on. He has to move on to somewhere else. I apologize for wording it that way, Packers fans. I understand this is part of business, and I think Gutekunst made a great decision, okay? At the time, very confused because you guys are, you know, nonetheless, I think it is a good decision. But he feels that in his heart, in his mindset, oh, I'm not good enough to win here in Green Bay anymore. I sat for 3 years here. I became a man here. I did everything. I'm not good enough to win, and this guy is the one that's good enough. Like, that's how elite competitors put it in their head. So he goes to the Jets, and last year was we were going to get spite Aaron.
Oh, yep.
Spite Aaron. And we were all very excited. Jets fans were very excited. And then that thing ends so quickly, and then he gets to hear more shit talked about him. Think about that. He gets more shit talked about him, about how he's too old, not going to be able to come back. Oh, what is he going to do? He's going to have dolphins hum over his Achilles, and he's going to heal faster than anybody else. He's 40 years old, and he's going to come back earlier than anybody else. All those things just continue to build up, and it's like, if last night is any indication of anything we know about Aaron Rodgers, it's like Jets fans have a reason to be very, very excited for an offensively inept organization that it has been. Feels like you might have figured out. And that Hackett offense looks a lot different whenever he's running it versus maybe some other people.
Yeah, it does. You mentioned Conklin earlier. Doesn't it feel like he and Conklin are just that relationship is going to continue to grow? Like, in watching Aaron move the safeties and move different players with his eyes and shoulders and then hit Conklin a few times, these things were a thing of beauty here. I mean, yeah, it just feels like one of those games where they come together. Yeah, what did he
Herbstreit
say?
said 6 different receivers in the first quarter or something like that, or the
First
6
drive. I think it
different
might have been the
receivers.
first drive. Like I think it was 6. Yeah, I think it might have been the first drive or the second drive. But yeah, it was very, very early. Pat, how about
Gibson got the ball there. He's one of the most explosive people like on the field. He's an incredible returner. So if they're going to work some shit in for him as well with Braylon Allen, who wow, what a dog! And a tweet just got sent in that Braylon Allen put out before the combine, where he said something along the lines of like, I'm not going to prove how good of a football player I am by running in underwear or something like that about the combine. Nice. So I love this guy.
Yes.
He's 20 years old. Everyone wanted to see me run in my underwear to decide if I was a good football player. Love this. So I like his mindset. I like that he's the youngest player in football. And I like that him and Breece Hall are a great 1-2 back there. And it's, come on, man. They got everything over there, don't they?
Pat, how about, and you noticed it, and I'm sure not a lot of people did during the game last night when Aaron's scanning the defense and he goes can, and every single person on the offense is on the exact same page.
Yeah, I think this is a good indicator of where everybody is right now. This is obviously first quarter, and this is the thing, like, one person hears it, everybody hears it. Right there, everybody literally goes can. Everybody. Look at the whole team. Every skill position, center, offensive lineman, obviously Aaron, we're all on the same page, and then boom, it becomes a first down run. Like it's like those little checks right there. No offense to Zach Wilson, okay? No offense to
he's
any
a
other
sweet
quarterback.
boy.
Sweet boy.
He's a sweet boy.
Very
And he's got a
sweet
brother.
boy.
He's got a brother that's playing football. I do believe.
Yeah.
Also
Utah.
a sweet boy.
Sweet boy, good face. Yeah, good.
Go
He's got
family.
good face. But like the ability, first of all, for Hackett and Aaron, I assume is a big piece of it, to say like, hey, everyone echo the call. Okay, everyone echo the call. That is kind of a conversation that's had in some teams. Like I don't want to say they're too good for it, but people act like they're too good to do it. So everybody being on the same page, everybody echoing the same call, everybody rowing in the same direction, and then getting the play option that is best for your team to succeed. It's like that's another little thing that's different whenever Aaron's the quarterback of a Hackett offense as opposed to maybe anybody else. And that's not just for the Jets. That's league wide. And this goes back to what Kurt Warner was saying about these quarterbacks developing and learning the defense and learning the protection. It's like checking to a good run as opposed to a bad run is just as important as checking from a run to a pass if the box is loaded. It's like I got real excited about Aaron playing last night and the Jets playing last night, especially with how the league has looked.
Yep.
Like outside the Saints.
It's
Right?
weird. Yeah, believe me, I don't think you're the only one. There's a ton of Jets fans that feel the same way. But the whole can situation, like coaches will say that like we need visual confirmation on the film. If you're sitting there with the whole defense and you're watching something, and one guy said, "Oh, I didn't get the call. I don't know what's going on." No, like that's why sometimes you'll see dudes like patting the back of their ass cheek or something. They're letting the safety know, "Hey, I got the call," or "This is where our alignment is." Like you need to give visual confirmation so someone can't say, "Oh, I told him the call." I'm like, no, you need to confirm with me that you got this call, and if you do, your hand signals, all that stuff. Yeah, it seems like a little thing, but obviously the little things are a big deal. We know that.
Well, and it means everybody's all in, you know, and the message is getting through, which is a big deal. You know, the message getting through is a big deal. And that's first quarter, and that's right after Moses.
Yeah.
Moses goes over to fight for him. For Breece, I think.
Yeah, it was Breece.
When he got slammed by Tavai, right here. And that was a
So this
great
is
play.
Obviously cheating. Can't do that.
What are
Come
we
on.
doing, Tavai?
Can't do that. But then look, first person over there ready to fight before Breece even has a time to do anything. His teammate Moses
John
steps
Simpson.
up for him.
Wait, that was a penalty?
That's on us.
I'm sorry, Simpson, not Moses. That's on me. Mr. Simpson, I do apologize. But Simpson interrupts before Breece can even get into it and says, And then the next play, literally the next play is the cans. It's like, as I'm watching this come together, I'm like, this team is like attention to detail, accountable, seemingly playing for each other. Is this the Jets? You know, because I heard Aaron is terrible for team chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I heard he's terrible.
Well,
but
Egypt
this feels
changed
like a
him.
much different Jets than when he's not in the building. Sorry about that, Tom. Go
What'd you
ahead.
say,
No,
Tom?
I was saying Egypt changed him. He spoke to a couple pharaohs.
King Tut.
Yeah, and
His tomb
King
really
Tutankhamun
spoke to
himself.
him.
Yes, and curses are words. So that's all that
Spells, Tony, not words. Okay. But
No,
I think,
words are spells.
Yeah.
That's why they are spelled. Jeez.
Pat, to your point about watching them, though, like I think this like as a Packers fan, this was kind of everyone's worst nightmare because a lot of people, and granted, Jordan Love has been great, so it eases it quite a bit. But everyone kind of knew Rodgers still had this in him, and last night just was like a vintage Rodgers game. Like it felt.
Are you sure? I think people were saying, "Hey, he's not the same dude. His arm isn't the same."
Yeah, I think a lot of Packers fans were saying that, but they were done with all the extracurricular stuff, not the stuff like on the football field. I think there's still a large majority of fans who he's unbelievable, and like last night did feel like a 2016, 2017 Rodgers. And I think if you're a Jets fan, the most exciting part is like he's still only 3 games in. Like they're going to get better, you know. So like what we saw last night, and granted, you know, you take it with a grain of salt because the Patriots aren't the best, but their defense is tough. Like judging by what we saw last night, like imagine what this team, if they stay healthy, is going to look like 7 weeks from now.
Look at the time of possession. Doubled them up in time of possession, Pat. Do you care about that? Is that something that was Chuck big on time of possession?
Yeah, and that means they're staying timely. You know, they're on schedule, which is another thing to be excited about if you're a Jets fan, because you're able to put up 400 total yards, but you ran the ball, you stayed seemingly pretty balanced, you're able to kind of chip away at the clock, and whenever you needed it, you're able to complete. So it's like, I think everything went right for the Jets last night. Like, is this what they are now?
Like that's the whole
67% on third down.
Yeah, that's the third down's the difference. And then what? The Patriots were 2 for 11 on third down, and they're 10 for 15. That's if you can. Yeah, that's what happens. Time of possession, you're converting third downs over and over and over again, Con.
Yeah, and then the night just kept going on
and on and on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
It wasn't as fun, but no, it really was. And granted, I know people say that we wash Rodgers' balls, but
which we are doing right now.
But it was genuinely cool to see, especially after, you know, to what Pat said about how like the quarterback play is down and the teams in general aren't playing well aside from the Saints. Like it was cool to see like a vintage masterclass. I mean, there was one throw he made and it was to Conklin, and the highlight was there after that cover 2 conversation, which he actually brought up in his press conference. He
which we knew was going to happen. Classic Aaron. Once again, classic Aaron.
And he did it perfectly though. I mean, the entire play shows that he like looks the guy off to the left and then throws a seed in the middle of the field. Like it was one of those things like, okay, you know, if it's going to happen, at least I get to watch it in prime time. Yes, it sucks that I have to be the fan of the team that he's playing, where it's like, oh, okay, Aaron Rodgers is back. His Achilles is good. He feels great. This is what the Jets are going to look like. That does stink as a Patriots fan, but at the same time, it is still like, man, this guy is a maestro. And the can thing, I mean, when they would go into empty and they would just show his face and he was just looking left to right.
He's checking out everybody.
Everything. He was just looking at the entire field, and then I was like, okay, I know exactly where the ball is going. Let me just look to the right and then come back to the middle, or look to the left, come back to the right. Or, I mean, the amount of times they threw the back shoulder. I mean, one of them was on there with Mike Williams, but he also hit Garrett Wilson on a filthy back shoulder too. Like it was just one of those things where, as a fan of the Patriots, there was nothing you could do. Like, this is going to happen to a lot of teams. Aaron's going to do this to a lot of teams, and if they do stay healthy, they are a very, very scary opponent for the AFC.
Even with that Aaron cover 2 look off there, he does a little ball movement too.
Yeah.
To like even think that he's going to. You saw that?
Yeah, that little like subtle. Yeah, it was weird what that was. Like it's almost
that was like a fake pump fake.
Yes. I think the back angle might show it here again. Yeah, you're right. Like right here, this little movement with it.
Boom,
it's
and
almost
boom,
like,
right there.
It's almost like a little pump. You're right.
Yeah, because if you're looking at that, you see him turn your head. Okay, I'm not going to go because this is classic Aaron Rodgers. Then he just starts to move the ball a little bit. You can't help but just lean. And if you lean, that's literally all he needs. That is literally what he's trying to do right there. That's an entire setup. Man, it's awesome. These older quarterbacks, and I guess this kind of goes into what seemingly every older player has been saying about current football. It's like these older quarterbacks seemingly have quite an advantage as this football is turning back into what it is turning back into. Like Derek Carr's been playing football a long time. Long time. Aaron Rodgers has been playing football long time. Now, Patrick Mahomes seemingly has been playing forever, but it's like the high-end quarterback play, I think, is going to showcase itself this season, maybe more so than it ever has in the past. And then also, just like kickers, the good kickers are going to showcase themselves this year as well, which I think is going to continue to be a trend as we roll through the entire season, AJ.
Yeah, I think To top off the Jets chatter, I believe they play the Broncos next.
Yes.
Is that their next opponent?
Yes.
So, I mean, things are looking pretty good. I know the Broncos are going to get it figured out eventually, but they're dealing with their rookie quarterback and Bo Nix and everything else. But things are looking up for the Jets. The Patriots, Pat, I don't know. Which way you think they're going?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Connor.
We don't have to do this, okay?
Yeah, we don't have to.
celebrate the Jets and let's talk
I
about the
picked the
kickers.
Patriots +6. I picked because you dressed like a damn coach yesterday.
How
You
was
remember
the
that?
how was the sideline?
The sideline
I didn't see
vibes
ya.
going in were real good. I'll be honest, the
Yeah,
boys
where
were
were-
buzzing. Where was I?
Were you by Mike
Schrager
Stud?
was there. Schrager was there. He didn't say he saw you.
I did see Mike said thank you for the Stevenson Ranch hats. Those are great. I did see Schrags. I saw a couple other people I won't get into. One of them being our good friend Gary V, of course.
Sure.
He was there as well. And
Wow, Gary was there?
yeah, Gary was there. That's bad news. And if I knew this before,
Bad
Pat,
news. What? No,
I know.
hit me
for
fireman
Patriots
Ed.
fans, I saw Gary. I said,
Okay.
"Oh shit!" The real news that kind of swayed me, and I should have told you this. I didn't know this. It was Fireman Ed's birthday yesterday. So
my God.
we never had a chance. Okay, we never had a goddamn chance because Fireman Ed turned. I don't know. He looks pretty good. Probably 35. Spring chicken.
Yeah, run towards fires, this man. And also, I couldn't imagine being a kicker if I wasn't told, hey, the entire place is going to, and we cut it off right there, the entire place is about to say Jets, 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 while you're kicking the ball. I mean, he timed it perfectly to the kickoff, the opening kickoff. And I also like the fact that, you know, Connor, I think there's maybe some people that started taking some sideways shots at old Fireman Ed. You know, I think
believe me, I saw.
I think there were some
things.
people that were taking some shots at Fireman Ed. I think I like the fact Fireman Ed's been on our program.
Yep.
I have family that are firefighters. I got massive respect for firefighters. Obviously, it's not just whenever you need them and they show up, they will. But during every holiday, basically, they are leaving. Now, it used to be through beepers and pagers. We know not to use those.
No.
Ever.
Never.
In
Well, they're safe here.
2024.
They're safe here.
Whoa.
We learn. We don't. Well, whatever the
trust
case.
that?
But now, so I got massive respect for anybody that runs towards fires, not away from them whenever people need it. And he's got his fastball, and that whole stadium was behind him. I mean, that whole they were almost calling it Fireman Ed Life last night instead of Jet Life, and that has to feel so good for him because I knew that he was hearing some of the shit that was being sprayed his way. The Jets are back. Fireman Ed's pitching a perfect game thus far in MetLife, and yeah, Connor, I picked Patriots +6, and I felt immediately terrible about it as soon as I saw Aaron jog out of that tunnel and had that little bop to him. It was like, looks like this guy's about to go bananas. I assume you felt the same way.
Yeah, I mean, that first drive, you brought it up too. Even though they had to punt, I think we all kind of saw the way that ball was coming out of his hand, and it was one of those things like, son of a bitch, this is the
Hey,
game.
Gonzo Flu couldn't catch that ball.
Well, I mean, that ball to Garrett Wilson was asinine. I mean, you can't play that any perfect. If you told me before the game, like, Garrett Wilson had 33 yards, I would have thought maybe we had a chance, but that's why Aaron's Aaron. Like, Conklin had 95 yards or whatever. Like, he can dish the ball to anybody, and I thought it was sweet, too. Clearly trying to get Garrett Wilson a touchdown. He didn't have one. The play before this, they threw it to him, and he brought the ball all the way down to first and goal from the 2 or second and goal from the 2. And he finds a way to do it. Like, it's pretty hard to force feed your number one guy on the goal line against Gonzo. And the Gonzo flu is real. He was following Garrett Wilson all over the field. He only had, I think, 12 yards in the first half. The stat came through. He covered him on, I think, 90% of the routes, 17 and 19 or whatever. But that ball right there is ridiculous. And I forget who said it, but that is one of those passes where there's nothing you can do. It's like, all right, Aaron Rodgers makes that throw. Maybe against, Josh Allen or Tua, there might be a chance that Gonzo gets there. But, I mean, it's a perfectly placed ball, and the Patriots are just first in line of the Aaron Rodgers revenge tour. And this is what the reality of the Jets is now, and it's disgusting as a Patriots fan.
Oh, it's art. The Aaron Rodgers revenge tour. Art. Arr. He's a pirate. This guy's coming to get his booty. Arr. That's what's going on.